Welcome back to New Rockstars, I'm Erik Voss, and Spider-Man No Way Home finally answered one of its most cryptic, lingering mysteries. What was the box? Used by Doctor Strange to try to send the multiverse men back to their home realities. Well, the film's screenplay just confirmed its actual name, La Macchina di Kadavus, and now the film's VFX team revealed a whole backstory was conceived for this artifact, a backstory that explains why its destruction might have been the final crack in the dam for the upcoming Multiverse of Madness. I'm gonna explain what this box really is and why its history was so crucial to the madness ahead. In No Way Home, after all 5 multiverse men are trapped in the crypt, Strange shows up with the Macchina di Kadavus, an ancient relic that contains Peter's corrupted spell, and he says that when he completes the ritual, it'll reverse that spell, sending them back to their home timelines where they will die. But this ritual is never fully completed with the box. The box is kept as a failsafe switch and a MacGuffin in the second half of the film until Green Goblin leaves a pumpkin grenade stuffed in there that destroys the box, spilling the corrupted spell around Liberty Island. Now that boom boom always got one of the biggest audience whenever I watch No Way Home with a new crowd, and I think there's a reason. We all instinctively sense that this box was way too important to be broken. Now the script labels this as La Macchina di Kadavus. Kadavus comes from the Crystal of Kadavus in the Marvel team-up number 21 in 1974, in which Spider-Man teams up with Doctor Strange to stop the sorcerer Xandu from stealing the Crystal of Kadavus, which Xandu needs for a plot to resurrect his deceased wife. The word Kadavus was also likely a derivation of cadaver, a corpse, specifically the way medical personnel describe a body for organ harvesting. And the Italian phrasing of La Macchina di possibly indicates a shared history with the Italian sorcery of Cagliostro, writer of the Book of Cagliostro. In real life, Alessandro di Cagliostro was an 18th century Italian occultist and magician, but in Marvel lore, he was an ancient sorcerer rumored to be the alias of Wang, who in Marvel's What If Episode 4 was the same mystic librarian Strange Supreme met in the library of Cagliostro. So as many of us suspected, that creepy Strange variant at the end of the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness trailer could be the same Strange Supreme from What If Episode 4. This is yet another link from the live action side of the MCU to that particular episode. Now, the VFX artist from Framestore who designed this box, Adrian St. Guirons, sorry if I mispronounced that, in an interview with Before and Afters said it used to be a much more mechanical kind of puzzle. There was a whole backstory to it that got simplified in the end. And he cited elaborate puzzle videos of Chris Ramsey on YouTube, saying they wanted the box to look like something that would take a strong wizard to solve. The initial design was all exploded, and Strange is bringing all the pieces back together. He said that they needed to figure out the right amount of metal versus wood versus stone to give a sense of an ancient artifact. Now, practically in the film, one would assume this box is at least mostly made of wood for MJ to be able to carry it with one hand, which does make sense for ancient relics, like we all saw Indiana Jones' The Last Crusade, where Indy told us the cup of a carpenter would mostly be made of wood. But I love how this final design incorporates multiple materials, as if generation after generation of sorcerers upgraded what began as a simple wooden magic box with newer and newer layers of mechanisms and new functions that they built on this over time, in an attempt to perfect it into something better. You can see how the VFX artists went through this same process, revealing several alternate designs for this box as they tried to perfect it to what eventually became. And that final design is directly inspired by the design of the Eye of Agamotto. It is also mostly gold and green, engraved with runes, and contains these inner curved metallic bands that rotate and twist and click, aligning in a specific way to reveal that inner piece that pops out, just like the Eye of Agamotto does with the Time Stone. Now, Doctor Strange said that this box's function was to reverse the spell, a kind of Control-Z. Based on that function and the box's clear design parallels with the Eye of Agamotto, it seems clear to me that these two artifacts were both designed by their sorcerers to try to do the same thing. They're both undo machines, but the box is the older model. It's analog and mechanical, it requires assembly, it's clunkier, it's more awkward, certainly more prone to theft, but the necklace by comparison is more portable, protectable, and with the Time Stone, far more applicable. It's almost like this box was the Gen 1 prototype and the necklace was the final form of that they settled on. Yes, it is hard to know who to trust right now, especially when traditional banks have all those drawbacks. Lots of fees, bad customer service, no cash back on debit purchases. Well, Albert is completely completely different from any bank account you've ever used. Albert is free to sign up and easy to use. You can get 5 to 20% cash back from places like McDonald's or Starbucks just using your debit card. Just swipe and you will see the money show up in your account instantly. Albert also doesn't charge overdraft fees ever. They will let you advance up to $250 from your next paycheck and pay it back with no interest and no credit check. Managing your personal finances can be difficult and confusing, but Albert has a team of financial experts that they call geniuses who will look at your situation and help you make a plan to manage your finances and answer any questions if you get stuck. They have an easy to use app interface and lots of great tools to help save you money. Click the link in the description box or go to albert.com/rockstars to download the Albert app today. That's albert.com/rockstars. And for a limited time, when you open a checking account and connect a qualifying direct deposit, you will get $150. And thanks again to Albert for sponsoring this video. Like, imagine these ancient sorcerers Cagliostro and Agamotto constructing a mechanism to house a powerful magic that specifically would allow them to reverse mistakes. So they built the Macchina di Kadavus, which they heralded as their 1998 iMac G3, cutting edge of that era. But then years later thought, we could do better than a box you gotta puzzle back together each time you want to use it. I mean, who's got the time for that? So they upgraded that same mechanism to a more portable, wearable option, taking all of that tech and cramming it into a smaller, sleeker iPhone form that, like the iPhone, taps the fuller potential of the magic to fix these mistakes. Now, of course, the big difference between these two artifacts is the inner battery that fuels it. The Eye of Agamotto contained the Time Stone, but in the present MCU, the Time Stone is gonzo. The Time Zone is gone, atomized, making it really weird that Doctor Strange is still wearing a new empty Eye of Agamotto necklace, presumably for a cosmetic flair, but really it explains why he's gotta go dust off this old relic. And inside this Macchina di Kadavus is that pentagonal prism, aka a dodecahedron, that Doctor Strange contained the corrupt spell inside of. I think this prism could actually be a crystal of Kadavus, like the crystal from the comics. And the reason they call this whole artifact the Macchina di Kadavus is the way it fixes the mistake is by killing these foreign elements in this universe, returning them to timelines where they become cadavers. That could be why this device would be dooming all the multiverse men directly to their deaths, even though Lizard and Sandman didn't die on screen in their continuities. Why would they be doomed to death now? Because the Kadavus. And the term Kadavus also casts this device as really a challenge to Strange's own Hippocratic Oath, something he has always tried to hold himself to. Like when we first met Strange in his 2016 film, he argued with Dr. Nicodemus West over whether a brain-dead patient could be saved, or as West wanted, to treat that body like a cadaver. But now Strange is the one telling Peter how death is their fate, and when Peter begs, "Come on, Strange, have a heart," Strange responds, "In the grand calculus of the multiverse, their sacrifice means infinitely more than their lives." To me, this sounds like a Doctor still haunted by his choices in Infinity War and Endgame, choices that are now coming home to roost as reality melts and unravels before his eyes. The imagery matches what we saw in What If Episode 4 when Strange bypassed an absolute point to save Christine Palmer. And now in this universe, I think Strange's choices to help the Avengers undo the snap and help Peter Parker gaslight society was just too much strain on this reality. And as Mordo warned, the bill has come due. And now Doctor Strange lives in a reality with no Infinity Stones, the dark, stoneless timeline that the Ancient One warned about in Endgame, and now he's got no backup Macchina di Kadavus to contain and purge interdimensional threats. I mean, potentially, if Multiverse of Madness is a direct live-action depiction of Strange Supreme and those other things from that What If Episode 4, that madness might even include Christine Palmer's death being an absolute destined point, and Strange, like poor Xandu, would have no Kadavus to use to reverse her death. He's just a scared old man with no iPhone to call 911 who dusted off his old desktop to try to email for help, but then the local ruffians shoved a cherry bomb in it. Now old man Strange is old man screwed. You can support New Rockstars by checking out our merch options at newrockstarsmerch.com. And big announcement, if you live in the Chicago area, you'll be able to see me and Philip Molina, Tommy Bechtold, and Jessica Clemens live February 11th, 8 p.m. at the Talia Hall. Check out the description for details. I can't wait to meet you in person. You can follow me at EA Voss, follow New Rockstars, subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching. Bye.